Over the next 20 years, we're going to see some amazing transformations, disruptive transformations with technology. So everything we've seen in the past 20 years, the personal computer, online shopping, social networking, will be nothing compared to the revolution that's ahead of us.
ICT research is enabling healthcare into a different world, supporting new transport and ticketing systems, and in particular helping us to think about smart energy, smart grid, smarter homes of the future.
ICT influences just all disciplines, and ones that we wouldn't have anticipated that it would influence. Things like economics, music, as well as, say, physics or biology or geology.
In telecommunications, we couldn't work without ICT and some of the capabilities that have developed over the last 30 years. And now we see over 5.5 billion customers using mobile globally.
If you look at the output of the UK economy, people talk about service industries and about manufacturing. Every single element of that requires the use of information and communication technologies, ICT. And so the sort of career that one can have in ICT spans every aspect of society and of our industry and our manufacturing future.
Computational thinking is influencing all areas of life, intellectual life and practical life. One of philosophy's long outstanding problems has been the mind-body problem, how it is that the mind can influence the brain and the brain the mind. Computational ideas have provided a metaphor for this, that the mind corresponds to software and the brain to the hardware that it runs on. Take something like biology. What is DNA? Well, it's a kind of computer program. It has instructions which, when run, produce proteins.
In the future, EPSRC is moving from being a passive funder of research to being a sponsor of research. It means that we want the internationally excellent research we fund to tackle really important societal problems and things that are essential to the health of the UK research base, manufacturing base and society. And of course, that does require pulling together basic science, engineering, end users, and that's what ICT does.
One of the things we've found over the past few years is that multidisciplinary teams work so much better at being on top of what is possible, understanding what you can do with it, and actually just innovating. A lot of the interesting innovations are when you put people together from very, very different backgrounds. So we're facing an information explosion. One of the things that will help people in how they consume all this vast amount of information is next generation display technology. This stuff is going to be plastic, we're going to wallpaper our homes with it. To generate the technology, to generate the kind of screens at the price point that people can afford, requires a lot of material science, a lot of physics, a lot of chemistry. But to deal with how do we get that vast amount of information onto those screens in the right kind of way, requires skills from computer science. And then for how individuals are actually going to interact with these screens through gestures, by pointing, by doing these kind of movements that people are familiar with from their smartphones, requires people who actually come from psychology backgrounds. So we have this complete spread from people with very low level fundamental science backgrounds right the way up through to the social sciences, and we need to bring all that together to really harness what next generation technology is going to be able to do for us.
Imagination does all sorts of technology. We're best known probably for our graphics acceleration technology that's found in hundreds of millions of mobile phones and tablets these days. Research for imagination is the lifeblood of our company. It is advanced technology and our ability to turn the most advanced concepts into commercial technology that can be deployed in medium to high volume. That is what makes Imagination the successful company we are today. We know what we're looking for. Our business is looking at least 5 to 10 years ahead of the technology you're seeing in products today, and our development plans reflect that. A lot of the technology we are in active development now is unlikely to reach production for the next 3 to 5 years at least, so therefore we have very long-term horizons. That also means, as we're studying that technology, we're studying the world press, the academic press, the commercial press, and looking for trends which are going to stimulate areas where we see there are fundamental gaps in technology, and those are the ones we strive for.
One of the areas that I was researching in the early 90s was why some of the SMS activities were not taking off, simple texting. And we realized that texting within a network was not sufficient. So we thought we'd do some experimentation and start to look at texting across networks. So from what was O2 in those days across to Vodafone and vice versa. That experimental research led to a texting boom, the likes of which we've never seen before. So by 1999 there was something like 1 billion text messages sent in the UK, and by 2009 it went over 100 billion.
Inside these little boxes are actually a hierarchy of expertise, a hierarchy of design, a hierarchy of technology, a hierarchy of manufacturing. So practically none of them today are designed and manufactured in a single place. So we can't ever own the entire, what's known as life cycle for these products in the UK. But what we can only hope for is to maintain a proportion of the skills, the technology, the abilities that are going to occur inside these devices in the future. So we have to take the expertise that we've got, the special expertise that we have, and we have to develop it as far as possible, and then we have to make it available to the international market. But don't forget that the UK companies are also looking across this international market for their solutions. If we don't have the quality of research and we don't have the quality of researchers in this ICT domain, we will fall back as a nation, and this will not be a good thing to do.
We have a tremendous history of innovation. What we're now showing is that intellectual property companies now fit very, very well into where industry is headed in the next few decades. And as such, those companies rely on advanced research and commercialising it. I think it's never been a more exciting time for the UK, but we need that body of researchers, and we need them in this country so that they're close to the companies that can exploit them.
We need excellent ICT researchers, which we have, but we also need ones who can communicate exactly what it is that ICT is contributing.
Without a good understanding of the economic and the social background, you can't design products that are going to be successful.
ICT to me is the most exciting career anybody could have because it touches every avenue in society. It touches anything you may wish to do, whether it's through education and research, whether it's through implementation, whether it's through delivering new services to anybody in society. It's also a global career. It's not just something which is unique to the UK, but growing those skills in the UK would help you both within the UK and internationally.
HP Labs is in the UK because this is a great place to work with universities. We have a wonderful opportunity here in industry and academia coming together to solve some of these big challenges. And the group of individuals that are kind of at the focal point of that are our PhD students. That's the engine room for growth for this country for the next 10, 20 years. And that's the group we need to continue to invest in.